Ever notice how some people just don't seem to respect you, no matter how kind, polite, or patient you are? Maybe they talk over you, ignore your boundaries, or constantly make you feel small. It's frustrating, but here's the truth. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you command through your behavior, your composure, and your boundaries. Today, we're talking about 7 ways to handle people who don't respect you. Not by yelling, not by fighting back, but by taking back your power with calm confidence. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to react, to defend yourself, to explain, or to match their tone. But here's the thing, silence often speaks louder than any reaction ever could. When you choose not to respond emotionally, you're communicating that their behavior isn't worthy of your energy. You're showing control, not weakness, because silence isn't about ignoring the problem. It's about refusing to give it power over you. When someone disrespects you, they're usually looking for a reaction, something to feed off of, to confirm that they can get under your skin. The moment you stay still, calm, and unbothered, you take that power back. You're no longer playing their game, you're rewriting the rules. Silence shows strength because it reflects discipline, and discipline is what people respect, even if they don't admit it. Think about it. When someone's trying to provoke you, and you just look at them with composure, not anger, they don't know what to do next. They expect you to fight back, to argue, to validate their disrespect with attention. But when you don't, it unsettles them. It creates discomfort, because your silence forces them to face their own behavior without your emotional reaction to justify it. In that moment, you're holding up a mirror to their immaturity, and that's powerful. It's not about winning an argument, it's about protecting your peace. Your silence is your boundary saying, you don't get access to my emotions. That calm silence has more impact than shouting ever will, because it shifts the balance of control from them to you. You decide when and how to engage, and that's what maturity looks like. Now, silence doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or avoid addressing disrespect altogether. It means you respond strategically, not impulsively. You might choose silence in the moment, let emotions cool, and then later communicate your boundaries clearly when the heat is gone. That's what emotionally intelligent people do. They don't let disrespect dictate their behavior. They lead with composure. If you're always reacting, you're being controlled. But when you pause, when you stay silent long enough to think, you respond with intention instead of emotion. That silence creates space for clarity. You can decide whether the situation even deserves your attention. Most times, it doesn't. Because not everyone who disrespects you deserves an explanation. Some people only understand distance, and silence is how you create it. It's important to understand that silence is not weakness. Weakness is letting someone's disrespect turn you into something you're not. Strength is keeping your values even when provoked. You can be silent and still be strong, silent and still be assertive, silent and still be confident. Because silence, when chosen intentionally, communicates certainty. It tells people, I don't need to prove myself to you. And that's one of the most intimidating forms of confidence. When you stop chasing validation and start choosing peace, people notice. Even the ones who disrespect you begin to sense that their words can't shake your foundation. Silence becomes your armor, light, invisible, but impenetrable. The truth is, not everyone deserves a reaction from you. Some people thrive on drama, on getting under your skin, on seeing you lose composure. The best way to show them that their tactics don't work is to stay calm, stay quiet, and stay collected. When you're silent, you're not surrendering. You're asserting control. You're saying, you can talk, but I decide what enters my peace. And over time, people learn that disrespect won't get your attention, only respect will. That's how you train people to treat you differently, not by yelling or fighting, but by showing them that the moment they cross the line, they lose access to your reaction. Your silence teaches them boundaries better than words ever could. So the next time someone disrespects you, take a breath. Don't rush to fill the silence. Let it hang there. Let it make them uncomfortable. Let it remind them that you won't stoop to their level. Because silence, when used with intention, is not emptiness. It's power. It's the sound of self-respect echoing louder than any insult ever could. When you master silence, you master yourself. And once you've mastered yourself, no one can take your peace away, no matter how loudly they try to break it. Setting boundaries without apology is one of the most powerful ways to earn respect from people who try to walk over you. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors with locks, and you control who gets a key. When you say no without explaining or apologizing, you communicate that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable. Too often, people who don't respect you expect you to bend, to accommodate, or to justify your limits. But the moment you start defending your boundaries, you're already giving them too much room to question them. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. When someone disrespects you, the firmest response isn't anger. It's clarity. A calm, confident statement like, "That doesn't work for me," says more than a long, emotional defense ever could. It's not about being rude, it's about being rooted in self-respect. Boundaries teach people how to treat you. Every time you allow someone to cross one, you train them that it's okay to keep doing it. The people who truly respect you will understand and adjust. The ones who don't will push harder. That's not a sign to lower your boundary. It's a sign to reinforce it. The moment you stop apologizing for your limits, people start realizing they can't control you. And this isn't about being harsh or distant. It's about communicating with calm authority. You don't have to raise your voice or justify your needs. You simply have to be consistent. When your boundaries stay steady, people either rise to meet them or fall away. Both outcomes protect your peace. You cannot expect others to respect a boundary you constantly bend for their comfort. Boundaries are not a form of rejection, they're an act of self-respect. You see, most people struggle with setting boundaries because they fear losing relationships or being labeled as selfish. But here's the truth. If someone leaves because you set a boundary, they weren't respecting you to begin with. People who value you won't feel threatened by your limits. They'll feel safe around them. Boundaries make your relationships healthier because they create clarity. They remove the confusion about what's acceptable and what's not. They're not about control. They're about mutual respect. When you clearly define what you tolerate and what you don't, you filter out those who only stick around when it benefits them. You're not pushing people away. You're protecting the space where genuine connection can grow. Boundaries separate what drains you from what sustains you, and that's how emotional peace is maintained. The most respectful boundaries are communicated with calm, steady confidence. You don't need to over-explain, apologize, or defend your choices. The more you talk, the more room you give people to argue. A boundary doesn't need permission to exist. It just needs consistency to stand. You can say, "I'm not available for that," or "Please don't speak to me that way," and leave it at that. No debate, no guilt, no extra explanation. And when people try to test you, because they will, your response should be your consistency. The moment you give in, they learn that your boundaries are negotiable. But when you stand firm without hostility,